Hey guys. So I wanted to hop on here and do the video that I was talking about with odd numbers. I felt the call to do it yesterday, but I wasn't able to do it yesterday because we had Christmas, our final Christmas that we for last year with my parents yesterday, which was absolutely amazing. It was a great time. Lots of yummy food and memories. So that's always good. Anyways, though, I wanted to hop on here and I wanted to talk about odd numbers and why they actually benefit us and why we've been taught that they don't benefit us and why odd numbers aren't good. But before I do that, I figured I'd do an energy update because we've changed into another sign, and so I thought I would just kind of go over that for the next couple days. So Sun is in Capricorn presently, and Moon is in Sagittarius today and tomorrow. So emotions for some, especially in Sagittarius energy, could be pretty heavy. It could be illuminating that for you. It could be making you want to work through that. I know when I was in Scorpio here a couple days ago, there definitely was a lot of heaviness. Actually, I think that might have been yesterday, maybe. It was yesterday, Sunday. Yeah, Saturday and Sunday we were in Scorpio and we just transitioned into Sagittarius. So for me, not a bad weekend, but definitely a heavy weekend. Definitely purging some things, moving some things out in my emotions and my heart space. So for Sagittarians, it's a possibility that today and tomorrow you may feel that. There may be some doubt. There may be some fear. There may be, and it may not be any of that. It may be that, some of those things they're being brought to the surface, but you've worked through them and you're in a space where you can be forgiving of it, and you also can be very open to it, because the Sun being in Capricorn is giving that, I don't want to say balance, but it's giving that structure. It's giving you the organization that you need in your emotions, with that free-spirited, lighthearted, fiery Sagittarian. Even though Sagittarius is not fire, it always seems like it to me. Even though it is air, it just really seems like fire to me. I don't know why, but every single time I talk about it, I always visualize fire, even though it's not. I visualize it. I visualize fire in it. So, anyways, I don't know why I got on that, but whatever. So Sun, Capricorn, Moon, Sagittarius today and tomorrow, Monday and Tuesday. Then Wednesday, Wednesday and Thursday we move into Capricorn, and I do believe it's Wednesday night into Thursday we have a full moon in Capricorn. So Capricorn, Sun, and Moon will be right next to each other. They will be right there, and they'll be in Capricorn energy. So even though it's not time for us to jump on anything career-wise, purpose-wise, things like that, you may notice that those things are coming at you, or illuminated, or plans and stuff. There's more organization structure being made through those. Those may be for business owners. Those might be a couple days that it's a good idea to get all your ducks in a row. So paperwork, things like that. We're in this full moon energy for a week, obviously moving into it, then the day of, and then we transition out. So a week from Thursday, we'll be out of it completely. So you'll have this window to work in that energy, that full moon Capricorn energy. So keep that in mind. Now, let's chat about odd numbers. Now, the interesting thing about that is I'm going to try and do this because as all of these numbers are going through my head, because that's kind of my new thing that Spirit wants me to work with. It's my new thing that my team, which I do believe team, when we talk about team, it's our higher self. It's all of our higher selves. Crazy, I know. But when we talk about our team and we talk about our guides and we talk about our guardian angels, things like that, there was something that my dad had said a while ago, and he's a pastor. So I thought it was very interesting because he said, really, if you think about it, guardian angels don't exist. And I'm like, what do you mean? Well, there's nothing in the Bible that talks about guardian angels. There's nothing in, there's nothing anywhere that talks about guardian angels. It's just something that we have acquired over the years. And so when you think about our angels, or I'm sorry, when you think about your guardian angel, it's somebody that's helping you. It's somebody that has the knowledge, right? And so for me, that's one of the epiphanies and one of the downloads that I got over this time that I've been off, which was what I really needed to recenter and to really purge and to really let go and slough off some things. So I'm feeling 10 times better. But one of the downloads, one of the messages that I got when I was thinking about my team, it was like, well, it's not. People are always looking to know who their guardians are, and they're always looking to know who their spirit guides are and things like that. Not that we don't have ancestors and past loved ones that don't help us. We do. But the download that I got was that your team is your higher self, fragmented out into multiple different directions. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they're dead. It just means it's energy. Energy being infinite, energy never ending. So yourself from different dimensions, from different planets, from different, I mean, it's kind of crazy to think about it, but from different timeline. You know, do you ever think it's possible that future timeline, because it's all one, right? So there is no future, there is no past, there is no present. It's all the same. So if you've got a situation that you're dealing with or whatever, and it sounds corny, but your future self, what we would think is our future self, decides to come in and say, hey, don't touch that hot stove. Hey, don't turn down that parking lot. Hey, don't go into that store right now because you're going to get robbed. That is what we think of as our guardian angel. But what if that's not the case? What if our guardian angel is all of our lifetimes? Our guardian angel is all of our ascendants. Our guardian angels are us in our ascending form. When we think of ascending, we think of ascending into heaven. But what I've seen and what I have found is reincarnation is real in multiple different situations. And just what if it's a possibility that every single time that we die in one life, the knowledge that we have is compartmentalized inside of us. And our idea of our guardians, our idea of our team is us. It's literally just us in a different dimension, or it's us in a different lifetime. It's us. And it's us trying to teach us. It's us trying to teach this body, this meat suit, what we need to do to ascend to Creator eventually. And then at the end, when we finally ascend, every single piece of us comes together in our complete soul. So like our soul fragments out to different areas in different lifetimes, in different timeline, different dimension, and it all comes back together when we need it to. They either all come back together into us when we die, and then we go into the Hall of Judgment. We talk to the Oversoul, we talk to the Most High, and we decide whether, okay, have we done what we need to do to move forward, or do we still have learning that we have to do? And do we have to come back and do it again? Were we abusive in this life, and now we have to come back and we have to face the karma for us to understand what we did wrong? And so our team comes to us and says, okay, this video is going a different direction than what I had planned, but I'll get there. But it says, okay, the last lifetime, you messed up. Now, the Most High, God's source, is basically giving you another chance to do it again. And me, in my ascending self, have been through it before, and we didn't do it right the last time. Let me guide you. Let me help you with it, because that's what a guide is, right? A guide is something higher than us, trying to help us, trying to help us make a decision. So what if that is the case? just a little thought that you guys can play around with and you guys can think about, because I am feeling better and I am planning on doing these way more often. Like, you can talk to my clients every single time we would get together in the office and stuff, and we talk and we banter back and forth, and we not feed, but we go back and forth with one another. I would say, oh, I need to do a video on this, because they would ask me a question and it would bring it up, or I would say something and then whatever, because we're social creatures, we're supposed to do that. We learn from each other. And so I'm like, oh, I need to do a video on that. And then I would be busy and I wouldn't be able to sit down like this and do the video. And so my apologies that the videos haven't been coming through like they were. I had some different things that I needed to work on. I had some things I needed to focus on. And so I was busy doing that. And so now I'm feeling like I'm in a place where we're balanced enough and we're structured enough. I mean, holy crap, we've had the building for a year now. So yesterday. So all of the hard work that has been put into it has created it and grounded it into, now we get to enjoy it. Now we get to add to it. Now we get to create all the new ideas, invite the new people in. Like, we get to do all those things because our business page, I don't want to talk about business on here, but our business page just keeps building every day. And so more people are learning about us. More people are utilizing what they can. And it's just beautiful. It's amazing to see. It's phenomenal to see. And it's beautiful to see the vendors who come and go, and we give them a platform to be able to build their business and to be able to believe in themselves. And, that is what it was all about. That's what it's been all about. I don't want to say that's what it was all about, because we're not done. So that is what it's been about. And that is what it will keep being about, is helping those find their way, helping those with their faith, helping those with their higher self, helping those, however it is that we can guide them, from me helping them, Travis helping them, anybody that's in the store, heck, even customers helping each other. That's beautiful to see too, that we just all get together, we sit, we talk, we have tea, and we have really in-depth conversations with one another, and we help each other, because that's what the beauty in it is, right? So I guess this is why they're telling me to talk about this, because I am leading into the odd numbers. And I'll tell you why this all kind of adds to one another. Because, so I've been working with numerology, and I've had numbers really floating through my head, and it's really weird. So it must be part of me, part of my ascending self, that this is the next step, because I hate math. I won't lie to you. I've never been a fan of math. I've hated math. But for the last year, I've had to learn to math, running a business and keeping everything straight and keeping everything balanced, all of it, to make sure that we thrive and to make sure that we don't go under, and to make sure that things are paid, and all the physical matrix bullshit that we have to do has to do with numbers. But the interesting thing is that numbers, we've always known as being, even numbers are the way to go in anything. And I'm not talking just about math. I'm talking about everything in our life. Like, one of the things I was thinking about this morning before I did the video was, think about, okay, so ride with me here for a minute. So think about when we were younger and we would have groups. So like, we would be doing, I don't know, tag, or we would be doing hockey, like floor hockey, or something in gym. Okay. Well, not even in gym. It could be in any class whatsoever. And there would be two groups. There'd be two teams, right? And everybody would keep picking somebody. They would pick somebody, and then they'd pick somebody else, and they'd pick somebody else. And there would always be one person left. Always be one person left. And I never counted, okay? So I can't for sure say this, but you always tried to get an even team. You always tried to have the same amount of people on your team. And then usually at the end, when there was one person left, which, let's admit it, as kids, we were ruthless, and kids still are ruthless. And so if you weren't the cool kid, and you weren't somebody that they thought was going to be able to be used to help achieve, to help win, right? Because that's what we've been taught. Then you wouldn't choose that person, because they were the oddball. They were the odd number. They were the person that you didn't want because, well, first, I don't want it. You'd go back and forth. Everybody's done it. So, I mean, don't tell me you haven't, because every single person's done it. But, oh, I don't want them because they're overweight, or, oh, I don't want them because they're ugly, or, oh, I don't want them because they smell, or, oh, I don't want them because they pick their nose. Whatever. Like, there's so much of that crap that went on when I was younger in school, and I know it still does, which is why my son's not in public school, but that's another story. And it's gotten 10 times worse. But once again, another story. No here, there, nor there. This is not what the video is about. But we would always pick people, and then there would usually be, my dog might bark here in a minute, excuse me if he does. There would always be an even number, and then one person you would either pick a number between 1 and 10, and then, or you would, whatever, draw straws, whatever. And then, and you ever notice that the straw, all the straws are the same and one is not? When we pick a piece of hay, or we pick whatever it is that we use when we're doing that, heads or tails, when you're doing quarters, straws, usually one straw is longer than the rest of them. And whoever gets the longest straw is the one that gets chosen. And it depends on, the same thing with the wishbone, which is interesting. The wishbone is really interesting, because usually the wishbone, because we just went through that, but the wishbone with the turkey and stuff, when you're putting your finger up there, two people put their finger on each side, and you go to break it and you make the wish, the person that has the longer piece of the wishbone gets the wish. So it's interesting that one actually works a different direction. Sorry, stay with me if you can. And if not, I apologize. I'm all over the place today. Sagittarian men. So, and I'm a Scorpio, so we're fixed energy. Sagittarians are not. I think, if I remember right, Sagittarians are cardinal, but that's a video for another day. Anyways, though, so basically, we've always been programmed. And, we talked about pre-programming. We've talked about, what is it? There's a word that they've come up with recently. Predictive programming. We've been being, excuse me, we've been being programmed since we were born. We've been being programmed with all of these different things since we were born, from math to English to science to all the things would be being programmed. And now the new word is predictive programming, because they've figured out how to do it, but shit, they've been doing it for generations. It's nothing new. It's just that people are catching on. It's people, I know some people aren't going to like him, but I don't care. I really love him. Russell Brand, like that. We'll talk about predictive programming because it's real. It's been around. I think there's a book that came out a long time ago. I think maybe in the 60s or 70s, Nate Murray talked about it in one of his videos. Maybe it's called 1980. I can't remember, but it basically talks about, so 1980 is one of them, but there's another one too. And it's all predictive programming, people. It's all predictive programming, and it plays back into the even and odd numbers. We've been taught that even numbers is what you want because you want balance. I'm not saying that's not the case. I'm not saying that balance isn't good. It is good. But I'm also saying that predictive programming would state that we've always been told not to pick the oddball. We've always been told not to pick the odd number. We've always been told only even numbers. Like, it's crazy. It's nuts. There's 28 days in a month, and sometimes there's 30 or 31. So, but most of the time, in most months, I think there's only 28 days. And there's only 12 months that we know, but we actually have 13 months. Like, if you look at nature, a lot of times will have odd numbers to it. But yet we've been told, no, we're supposed to stay with even numbers. Even numbers is the way to go. The lucky number 13. People say, oh, no. 13's bad. You stay away from 13. You don't do 13. A lot of people say that the number 13 is bad. I don't see it as bad. I actually love the lucky number 13. And if there actually was 13 months, instead of 12. It's all part of the predictive programming. It's all part of the shutting us down from the truth. It's all part of not allowing us to see. And it's been programmed into us for generations, including the smallest little things. The smallest little things. Like you look at the numbers when you go to the grocery store. Look at your numbers. So, and I'm going to probably fumble this up, and then somebody's probably going to call me out on it because somebody tried to call me out on my video the other day. Thank you so much. But then I set that straight. Because when I'm doing these, I'm not trying to get them right completely, because right, we don't even know what the hell right really is. We know what we think we know. So it is what it is. But anyways, here nor there. What I figured out was 3, 9, and what was it? 3. So if you do, hold on, give me a minute. Because there was something that when I woke up this morning, it was in my head and I was running through it, and it had something to do with 3, 9. Was it 3, 9, and 12? No. It was 3, 9, and 13, I think, because I was trying to figure it out. And so 3 times 3 equals 9. 9 is considered a transitional number. 9 is the number of God. 3, if you break 9 back down, you get 3. 3 is the Holy Spirit. 3 is mind, body, spirit. 9, oh, it's 3, 6, 9. 3, 6, 9. 3 equals the Holy Spirit. 3 equals mind, body, soul, right? Triangle. It represents all the main points of what we are, right? 6 is representative of balance. 6 and 9 are representative of balance. 69 represents balance. It represents divine energy, but it represents you trying to find balance. So like when you look at 69, which is why we have bracelets with 69 on them, somebody asked about that too, and I know where their head was going with it. And I'll figure this one out here in a minute, because we're going to get a little spicy during February at the store. So I might as well for Valentine's Day. But because we can, and because we've already pushed all of the narratives that we possibly could last year. Well, why not push it some more? Why not push it a little bit more? But we're going to do it in a very tasteful way. And anyways, so 6 and 9 represents balance. You know, people joke about the number 69 because we know what, as a teenager and as an immature adult, what 69 means, right? No, not trying to offend anybody, but I mean, we know what that means. And somebody had said something about the bracelets, because we have 69 bracelets, and they were kind of joking about it. And I knew exactly what they meant, because I think it was when we were 13, 14 years old, the yin yang came out and everybody was talking about the fact that it meant 69, and 69 meant that instead. And we know what that means, right? I'm not going to have to draw you a picture or tell you what it is, but you know what it is. But that means balance. If you want to be gross about it, you can be gross about it. Everybody has sex. Everybody's intimate. It is what it is, and they should be. And if they're not, well, they should be, because it is a humanistic thing that we're supposed to do. But 69 represents a male and a female, or people, whatever, doing their thing, right? And it's balance. One person is one direction, one person is the other direction, and that's what 69 means, right? If you look at the yin yang, it's a circle, and then one side is light, one side is dark. It represents balance. But where I was going with this was 3, 6, 9. 3 represents the divine, represents the Holy Spirit. It represents all of those things: mind, body, soul. And I could go into a biblical thing with that, but I'm not gonna. So, because that would blow people's minds, because, well, you know, whatever. We're not supposed to do that. But anyways, 3, 6, 9. 6 representing balance, representing one side of balance, and 9 being a transitional period, being almost the end of a journey, almost the end of that transition, that adventure. So take it as it is. But it's interesting because in between that, 3 and 9 are odd numbers and 6 is the even number. And if you put 3, 6, and 9 on a triangle, the even has to represent the odd, just like the odd has to represent the even. So when I was thinking about this and I was throwing it around, and I know that there's way more to it, and I haven't got all of it completely yet, but I wanted to share this with you guys today. You guys can think this is crazy. You can think what you want to think. I don't really care. I get these messages and then I have to load them, and I'm going to load them more on my YouTube page and then add them on here so everybody can get them. You won't ever see them on our business page because we're just not going to put them on our business page, because some people, we have a very eclectic demographic that comes into the store, and some people would be open to this stuff and some wouldn't, and I respect that. Some people come in to see Claire for massage, and some people don't come to me, and I respect that. Like, I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay. I don't care. I'm there for people when they need to find me, and that is that. Once again, balance. But a lot of people don't want balance. A lot of people want to be right. Even numbers, we've always been taught, are right. Odd numbers are wrong. Hence, the oddball of the group. The oddball. The third wheel. People go out together and there's not an even number of people. The third person feels like the third wheel, and it shouldn't be like that, because the two even should welcome in the odd. You see what I mean? Like, it's all predictive programming. It's all things that have been done for so many years that we just automatically think is okay. That we automatically think, oh, that's just the way it is because that's how I learned it when I was 2 or 3, 4, 5 years old. So I just assume that that's the way it's supposed to be. But when you really start thinking about it, and you really start looking out there and you see the Matrix for what it is, and it is all nothing but numbers, and that's not just because the movie The Matrix. But once again, that's predictive programming. If you actually look into, hi Bella, good morning. If you actually look into, you want to see Bella? There's Bella. Say hi to Bella. Hi Bella, good morning. She just got out of bed. Anyways though, hi honey. When you look at the predictive programming, if you actually allow yourself, and you don't have to do any shrooms, you don't have to do any psychedelics to make this happen, you just have to be open to visualizing it, you just have to be open to seeing it, you'll see the grid lines. You'll see the grid lines, you'll see the numbers, you'll see all of it. And when you do, it will blow your flippin' mind. But I'm at a point where everybody thinks I'm crazy, and I just don't care. Don't care. But anyways, odd numbers. That is what I got from odd numbers. I saw a couple people say, oh, no, I believe it. I like odd numbers. And that's awesome. You're probably not the average. You're probably one of those that stands out. You're probably one of those that has always been an oddball. Even when you were younger, you were an oddball, and you just learned to accept it, and you were okay with it. And that is how we are. A lot of us who have never fit in, ever, we still don't. And we still see things outside the box. But did you ever notice how much they try to make us conform? Did you ever notice how much they try to get us to fall in line again? It's all predictive programming. It's the same thing with children with autism, ADHD, things like that. They are very unique individuals. They are amazing, beautiful people. But they're taught they can't be what they are because it's not normal. We have to normalize it. We have to do the medications. We have to bring it back in. We got to reel it in so that way they conform. That way they sit in that seat and they do what they're supposed to do, and they never do anything outside of the lines. Well, odd numbers are outside of the lines. They're not in the uniform way that they're supposed to be. They are outside because they're not in sequence. They are. But most of the time, they're not. Most of the time, most of the time, if you look at your odd numbers, they're outside of your even. They're outside of your even numbers. Hell, they even have another group for them when it comes to geometry, because you've got, and I'm not huge, like I said, I'm not huge on math. I'm still playing around with it, but you've got your even shapes, and then you have your other shapes that aren't even. You have your other shapes that have odd numbers, because the lines aren't the same, and so they put them in a completely different group because they're not basic. They're not normal. Most things are made 2-seaters. Most vehicles, most things are made for even numbers. Usually when you see a car, there's going to be the back seat, but it fits, 4 people? Sometimes it'll fit 2, but you never really see a seat that fits 5 people or 6 people, unless there's seats that are made separate, but there's still going to be 2 and 2. Like, it's crazy. It really is crazy. And so this is the interesting thing too. This morning I woke up and I was like, okay, if we look at our body, we have 2 of everything for the most part. We have 2 nostrils, we have 2 eyes, we have 2 ears, 2 breasts, 2 ovaries, 2 legs, 2 feet, 2 hands. But we don't have 2 on here. We have 5. We have 5 and 5. It's just, it blows my mind. It's amazing. I even have 2 lips. It's amazing to see how the evens and the odds are meant to go together, but we've been taught that they don't. We've been taught that the even and the odds are not meant to go together, that evens are always supposed to be the way and odds are not. Odds are outside of the box. When in fact, I don't think that that's necessarily the case. I think odds complement evens. But we've just not been taught to allow that. We've not been taught to let that happen. And it's weird because some people, they can't have an odd. I used to be that way. Everything had to be evens. Like if I would look at something and it wouldn't be balanced and it wouldn't have like 2 of something or 3 of something or whatever, I had to change it. It had to be changed because if I didn't change it, I let my dog out. If I didn't change it, then it didn't look right to me. If I didn't change it, it didn't look right to me. And so I would change it so that way it was more pleasing to the eye. There's that too. People will change things, and I about bet you, I would love to do some kind of a study on it. And if you guys do, please let me know. But they would make it so that it's pleasing to the eye, and an even number of something would be more pleasing to the eye than an oddball. Well, think about it. Let's see. I don't even know if I have anything here right now that I can use. I was trying to find something that I could use to kind of show you guys. And the reason I think that when it's pleasing to the eye, the reason they try to make everything uniform, the reason they try to make it into an even is because that's where the eye goes. So the eye is going to go someplace else if it's not all put together in an even number. So if you had 2 candles in the center, and then you had 1 candle that was outside of it, and you're looking at a picture, where's your eye going to go first? Are you going to look at the 2 candles? Or is your eye eventually going to go to the 3rd candle and your body's going to process it and go, whoa, wait a minute. I don't understand. Why is that 3rd candle out there and it's not here with these other 2? Like, it's something to think about, guys. It really is. Somebody had sent me a video yesterday where I was talking about the calendar and the fact that the new year doesn't really start until April 1st, and that we actually are predictive programmed for that. They literally tell you that they're messing with you because April 1st is April Fool's Day. They're literally calling us out and saying, you guys are just stupid. You don't even understand that it's not even really the new year until April 1st. But because we did what we did to you, April 1st is considered April Fool's Day. Because y'all a bunch of fools. Because you believe that January 1st is the actual new year. And nature's going, what the crap are you guys doing? Y'all humans are stupid as shit because it's not the new year. Like, that's another thing. And the video is really interesting. I didn't post it because some people don't even watch the videos. Like when I post these, people pay attention to them. When I post YouTube videos, a lot, unless they're mine, but when I post YouTube videos, they don't really watch them, which sucks because there's certain things that I want to post. Anything that I post on my page, I'm posting for benefit for you. I'm trying to open you up to it, or I'm trying to share it with you because it makes you think outside the box. And that's literally what my Facebook page is about, is helping people think outside of the box. It always has been. Even from a long time ago before I was even into any of this stuff. Hair's a hot mess today, and I really don't care. I'm going to color it tonight. And I got a new blow dryer, so I'm excited about that. But anyways, it needs a little pick-me-up. I need to use a toner on it, kind of give it a little freshening. But anyways, there was a video that was shared with me, and it was talking about the turtle shell, and that the turtle shell actually has, I can't even remember now. It has like so many on the top of it. So it has so many parts on the top of it, markings on the top of it, and then it has a few markings on the bottom of it that represents 13, I think. It's like 7 on the top and then 6 on the bottom. I can't remember. I was trying to think. I was mathing there for a minute. I was like, it's 7 and 6 to 7 and 6. Here, count it out with me. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, sweet. So I wasn't wrong. So 7 and 6. I think it was like 7 on the top part of the shell and then 6 on the underneath of the shell, which represents 13. And that the Indian, Native Americans, they used to use the turtle shell to count. It was a calendar for them, and it would help them count the months, the moons. It would help them count them so that they would know. Like I said, if you look at certain things in nature, it will show you. And that's what they had to use because they didn't have the different things. That's why they used the constellations and they used the heavens and they used the stars and stuff to help them with that. That's why they did it. I mean, it's really interesting. It's all very interesting. And the interesting thing about that is the top part of the turtle shell, I think it's the top part. The top part of the turtle shell has an odd number. The bottom part of the turtle shell has an even number. Balance, creating balance between the odd and the even. But like I said, we've been taught not to accept that. We've been taught even is the way to go. And kudos to all of you that don't fall into that. Kudos to you that believe that we should be focusing on odd numbers and we should be doing things in odds and not necessarily in evens. That's beautiful. I'm betting that there's a significant factor, and there's probably some scientific thing with the right and the left side of the brain too. Maybe if you align more with a certain set of numbers, so like maybe if you align more with the even numbers, then you are considered more right side brain functional. If you, I bet you, this is the download that I'm getting, but you guys can look it up and see if I'm right or wrong. The odd numbers, then you, let's see, the odd numbers, then you would, the odd numbers, then you would use more of your left side of your brain and you would be more functional on the left side. I'm just kind of curious. And there's other things that I would play into with that as well, because the frontal lobe, I do believe, is controlled by the left side of the brain. And a lot of people who get dementia and Alzheimer's, a lot of people that get those, they lose, even after they have a stroke, they lose connection with the frontal lobe, which makes them non-empathetic. It makes them not sympathetic towards others. And I'm going to just all kinds of shit today. And that's as we age, if we become more bitter and more angry and not as empathetic, it's because that part of our brain is shutting down. That part of our brain has either not been utilized or it's shutting down. Well, what do you think the frontal lobe connects with? It connects with the pineal gland. It connects with our intuition. It connects with our gut instincts. And so as we age, if we don't take care of this, and from the time that we're born, we're being told not to take care of this, we're being told to shut this down. We're being told not to connect with this. And the reason not to connect with this is because it's not right. It's wrong. We don't connect with this. We just walk the line. We don't need to make our own decisions. We don't need to feel things out. We don't need to use our intuition and our empathy. And that's why you're seeing a divide with people, because you're seeing some, and I hate to say it, you're seeing some that are in the older generation, their prefrontal lobe is not as expanded as what some of those, and I can't say the older generation because I know some, because I'm not young by any means, but I know some that are the older generation, but they are opening themselves up to that frontal lobe area, which is making them more empathetic, making them more understanding. But there's a fine line with that too, making sure that you're not just becoming mush and that you're not having a balance between. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying that balance is not good. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that there definitely is a combination of both. There definitely is a reason for odds, a reason for evens, and nothing is supposed to be exactly the same. It never was. But we're told that it is, because that's part of our predictive programming. Part of our predictive programming is that we walk the line, we work 9 to 7, we make our kids go to school, we do all these things because that's what we've been taught. That's what we were taught. And it's weird because a lot of the things that our elders did, we don't do anymore because it's been taken away. A lot of us are starting to open back up to it, and a lot of us are starting to bring it back in, and that's beautiful. But it's a different beautiful. It's not, yes, it has the structure and organization, but it also has the Sagittarian energy. Thank you, Spirit. It also has the Sagittarian energy. It has the Capricorn, but it also has a new flair to it with the love, the loving, and the ease, and the just having it right. Going back to the roots. Connecting back into the roots and not being part of the matrix and not going to the grocery store and feeling we have to buy everything. Growing our own stuff. Because we're doing it on our own. We're using this part of our brain. We're using our intuition. We're teaching ourselves. And our team is teaching us because they used to do it. Our higher self, our fragmented selves are doing that. They are teaching us, hey, pick up that cast iron pan and do this with it. Hey, go make that fire. Hey, do all these things because we are connecting with our fragmented soul. We are connecting with it to be able to learn from it, to be able to ascend. So, all right, I'm going to hop off here. I got some running I got to do today. We open back up tomorrow at 1. I actually have an appointment tomorrow, so I can't get the store open until 1 o'clock, but we will be open from 1 to 6 tomorrow, and then hours are back to normal. We will be open back up from 11 to 6, Tuesday through Saturday. So make sure you come in. I've got all kinds of new things coming in. I haven't posted them or shared them, but wait until you see because they are beautiful. I've got more ceramic jewelry pieces coming in. I know some of you were very interested in the ones that we had, but I've got probably about 10 to choose from now. I've got some new hair sticks that come in that are different than the ones that we have in the store. We got new sacks. We have stickers coming soon. I have these really cool stickers that we got that are really pretty that you guys are going to want to see. Oh, I've got more of the butterfly earrings and some other things from them that are coming in that you guys aren't going to want to miss. We've got new rings that will be coming in that I am making, but they are 6-ray garnet cabochons. If you haven't seen those are gorgeous. If you think of the Lindy Star rings that we used to get when we were younger, that's what these are, but they will be wire wrapped rings and pendants, and then they have the garnet, and then they have the 6-ray star inside of them. They're really beautiful. Yeah, there's all kinds of different things, guys. All kinds of different things. New workshops coming in. We have, I don't want to share all of them, but I've got a couple meetings coming up. You know what? I'm not even disclose those yet because I don't want to put that out there yet. We got new workshops coming in. Workshops will start back up. I'm going to say probably March or April. I don't really want to start up new workshops for the new year until after April. So, yeah. All right, guys. I love you, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you would, I'm gonna do that. If you would, please go to my YouTube page and add it. I will be adding it on here on our Facebook, but I also really would appreciate the like and the share. I do not want to play that game, but on the other hand, I do want to get this information out to people, and I want them to be able to see my YouTube page. I want to expand my YouTube page out this year. So if you would, please like and subscribe. It's Skydon parentheses Skyshine parentheses. Give it a like, give it a share. We love you. We are so grateful for your support in this last year, and we plan to bring you even better and even more amazing stuff in 2024. So, all right, love you guys. Blessings. Have a great day.